Legoland is awesome! I went to Legoland yesterday and I'm completely psyched for talking about the Lego Movie 2 now. I actually saw this a few weeks ago when it came out. Maybe longer than that now. It's been quite a while. Should have done this sooner. I was a big fan of the first Lego Movie. I loved the Lego Batman movie. I even liked the Ninjago movie. Needless to say, I was pretty ecstatic when the Lego Movie 2 came out. So the Lego Movie 2 kind of carries on from the first film. We now have our young protagonist's sister on board, and with that, when we are in the Lego Movie itself, we have Lego Duplo, we have Lego Friends. So it's not just the basic standard bricks, we also have the kind of subsectors of Lego in there as well, and that makes for a really interesting contrast and also a very interesting age range, because the voices for Lego Duplo are a lot younger than the voices of our protagonist's, our young boy's sister. So certainly there's something that makes this different to the first one. It's not just kind of a clone of the things that made the first one good. We're getting a little bit something extra. That's also of course the same with the characters. We have our favourites, we have Wyldstyle, we have Emmet, we even have a little bit of Unikitty, which was a must for me. And that's fantastic, but we're also getting some new characters in there to make it a little bit more exciting, to give us something else to look into, to give them enough of the opportunity for merchandising. Needless to say, there are a lot of opportunities in the Lego Movie 2 for merchandising, and I think there are a lot of fun builds in this one, but for me, just the favourite things are the houses. I love seeing the houses, and when everything is awesome, it's fascinating. Also, fun fact, if you go to Legoland, they do actually have this little glass table that's just full of all of the different sets from the film. It's great. I love how immersive it is. The worlds, although made of Lego and on screen, you can become part of them quite easily, and obviously I think that's one of the unique selling points about not just this Lego Movie, but all of them. So things are a little bit intense in this film. Lego Duplo is kind of crashing down and is posing a big threat, and then Emmet and Wyldstyle become separated, and Emmet has to go on, yet again, another quest. And I think this quest is not as much of a physical adventure as the first one. I think it's more of an emotional roller coaster for Emmet, so it feels a little bit different to the first film. We get to dig deeper into Emmet's character as well, which, when you're talking about Lego, is quite an impressive thing to do. It's certainly an incredibly colourful film. Lego Duplo is very brightly coloured. Lego Friends are very pink and girly, and that comes in a lot with the sister's character. The main question for me, the main thing I needed it to be, was as funny as the first film. The reason I loved the first film for me is because it was just hilarious from start to finish. I laughed at a lot of it, and I was worried that the second film wouldn't have that magic. It actually does. It definitely does. There are a few jokes that hark back to the first film. There are some very pop culture references in there. If you're, like me, concerned that it won't be as funny, I promise it is. It's certainly as sentimental as the first film. It gets quite dark at one point with the song Everything Is Awesome, but it's slightly tweaked, and it's a little bit terrifying and quite upsetting, and it wouldn't surprise me if children started to have nervous breakdowns while watching it. And I did also worry that it wouldn't be as unique as the first film, but it is. It doesn't lose any of the magic from the first film. I pray for a Lego Movie 3. I don't know where they could take it from there, but Lego Movie 2 was as good as, if not better, than the first Lego Movie.